couldn't believe it when they told me it was my son to be crucified. My son, a hardened criminal. No, they must have it wrong. But they didn't. But I thought, I'm not going to go. Who wants to go and watch their son be crucified? Who? Not me. But I kept thinking, the last time I saw him, I'd had such a row. I'd been getting involved in things, and I told him to stop it. And then my last words to him were, get out. Just go. Get out. And don't you darken my door again. You see, I thought there'd be time to make amends. But there wasn't. And I wasn't going to go. But the night before, I just kept thinking of him. He's my boy. He's my son. Doesn't matter what he's done. He's mine. The morning of the crucifixion, when I stepped out, I couldn't believe it. There was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. Families, mothers and children. And they were all going. I thought, where are you going? And they were all going to see the crucifixion. Laughing and eating and sharing food. And I stopped and I thought, what if it was your son? What if it was your boy, your brother? Would you be sharing food? Would you be off to the crucifixion with a smile on your face? Well, I pushed my way forward. I couldn't see him. And he was to be crucified in a place called the Skull. And there was 3 crosses. And I was trying to find him. And then they brought him out. And he looked so thin. And his face was tear-stained. And he had 2 Roman guards on either side of him. And they were dragging him along, and I was shouting his name. He couldn't hear me, and I knew he was frightened. And I was frightened. And I was shouting at him, but he couldn't hear. And then the Roman guard threw him down and knelt on his chest. And he said, be still, man, it's easy. Be still, it's easy if you're still. He took a 9-inch nail and a mallet and hammered it into his wrist. The thought that went through my head was, how can that be easy? Whether you're moving or still. I screamed. He screamed. And then that was it. The next time I looked up, it was there on the cross. There was a man in the middle, and then there was another man to be crucified, the 3 of them together. And I was looking at my boy, and I was trying to shout his name. The man in the middle, he spoke to another little group, and when I looked across, I thought, them love him. At least I'm not the only one who loves somebody here today. And I thought, he loves them. The guards, they were casting lots in, they were laughing, they were sharing out his clothes, they were throwing the dice. I kept thinking, what is this? What is it? And then the thief on the other side started shouting, come on, get down from here, save yourself. You call yourself the Messiah? Come on, save us, save yourself. Who are you? Come on, you've been preaching all over, come on. And my boy, my son, he lifted his head and he said, hold your tongue. We deserve to be here. But this man, he's done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Then he strained his head to look and he said, forgive me. Remember me today. The man in the middle, when I looked at him, they had beat him and they had rammed a crown of thorns so far on his head that one of the thorns was jutting out of his eye. And he said, to my son, today you'll be with me in paradise. And then when I looked at my son, a peace had came over him. There, hanging on the cross, he was a different boy. In those few moments that Jesus spoke, he was a different boy. And then Jesus looked at the crowd and he looked at everyone and he looked at me And it's as if he could see right into the very heart of me. He could see my heart was breaking. He could read everything. I was sorry for all the wrong things I had said. I was sorry for my boy. And he looked. And he looked at me. And he looked at the crowd. And he said, Father, forgive them. And then he took his last breath and he shouted out, and then he gave up his spirit. And then the sun stopped shining. The sky went black. The temple curtain was torn in two. And the tombs, they spilled out their dead. Oh, they weren't laughing then. They weren't sharing food then. Everybody was crying and screaming. But not me. And not this little band beside me. We stayed. And in that moment, I knew I had peace. I had peace from the man in the middle. And the man in the middle was Jesus. I'd like to say that's the end of the story, but that was only Friday.